Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League. For Myrtle Beach Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's 6th round coverage of the SK Modified Invitational Series Season 39. You know, over the last 4 races, 3-time champ Todd Liston has done slightly better than the current point leader, James Lowe. But a 12th to open the season from Liston versus an opening round win by Lowe is the reason the two are separated by 10 points. But the new addition coming into the Liston family will most likely, well, that little bullion cube is going to be a distraction for Liston, making Lowe's path to the title maybe a little less bumpy. Yes, big names like Jeffrey Harden and John Wilson are tied for third, both 12 markers behind Lowe. But with James Lowe, the train is really rolling, and Harden and Wilson might only be just a penny on the track. So pull the lever on the lazy boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action that's about to stream your way here from the Palmetto State. A warm welcome on this Saturday night, May 3rd, 2025. It's Jeremy Gridlock Scott joining yours truly, Bill Soups on High, Jim Pro Spots, bring our Word's Eye View replay right in center, turn the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, Gridlock. You know, the palmetto tree is known for its fan-shaped leaves. And speaking of fans, what can the fans expect here from Myrtle Beach?
Well, as we know, Myrtle Beach is no more in real life, so with the power of iRacing, it lives on virtually. It's just over a half mile in length, and it's just off the ocean, so you know what? You've got just a little bit of high sea level through there, and the turns are banked in. We've seen several series here, whether it be the Modified or what is now known as the Xfinity Series. That's raced there, even formerly, it was a local race weekend usually that would be running here at Myrtle Beach. It was a very historic venue. A lot of famous names have come on and won and even raced here as well.
Okay, well, there you go. You know, James Lowe, we'll take a look at the points here real quick as we're hustling through our opening here tonight. James Lowe, he's got that 5-week top 5 streak going on. Todd Liston is 10 points back. We weren't sure if he was going to be here tonight, but he is. Apparently, either the baby has come or it's late coming, but they got it worked out. Let's go ahead and give you the grid. It's Tom Hilbert and Bruce Pearson on the front row.
Second row is Ed Springer and Steve Hilbert. I should say Steve Hilbert's Ed Springer.
Kurt Smith and Bobby Hayes go 5th and 6th.
Row 4 is John Wilson and Jeffrey Harden.
Trey Bloom and Todd Listens is second in the points and 10th.
Row 6 is Chris Davis and James Lowe.
The quiet man, Ruben Altice, back there in the Bakersfield spot with Jason Benda outside of him.
Row 8 is Daryl Weinger and Tim Corder.
18 drivers here tonight. That means we have 9 rows that are all filled up. The last row being populated by Brendan Myers. Watch out, he's quick. And Chris Hazlip. All right, let me turn it over to my partner to call this. We get it going. We're at the dead even mark here. 5 in the books, 5 to go after this one.
Well, Barney's going to try and wave the halfway flags with that green flag. That'd be tough to do, but nonetheless, we are just about ready to start racing here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Thanks for joining us. The green flag is out. And, of course, Tom Hilbert gets the jump over Double Deuce Bruce, who really falls back into third. Uncharacteristic is he's usually pretty good on these starts and restarts, but he's going to try that high line once again. Tom and Steve, the brothers Hilbert, I should say, 1 and 2 for the time being, but Double Deuce gets into that second spot back.
They got together at the Hilbert Mansion and they said, let's see if we can just go too wide for 100 laps. They won't be able to get around us. Well, that didn't work because the Double Deuce Boosters rolls around Steve. Rounding out your top 5, it's Kurt Smith with Ed Springer having a nice run back there in the number 16.
Yeah, Springer with a great run so far as Jeffrey Harden now making his way up to 8th place. He and Trey Bloom in a battle as well as behind them, and we've got problems.
But they keep going straight, getting bumped off like a hockey hip check. I believe it's the 70 or the 75. See who it was? It was the 70 of Ruben Altice. Oh my goodness. They were like 3 wide. They were bumping off each other. There we go. There's Altice going down into the South Carolina grass. He brings it back up.
Altice not having a good second weekend in a row. We saw how he was last time out. As we're back underway, and look who's on that rear bumper. Tom Hilbert. It's Double Deuce Bruce. See if he can make some hay and get into that lead. We're on board with Pearson as he tries to see what he can do with the impact to this Lexia number 25.
Well, you can almost hear Pearson singing, doing a Sting impression, singing back there. I'll be watching you. He is just stalking Tom Hilbert right now. Those two's pulling away. Now, I know Tom, he's going to burn up as much rubber as it takes to keep the car out in front. With that said, he drifts high out of 4. The Double Deuce Bruce Pearson getting underneath him. And I think the pass is going to be made. New leader, Bruce Pearson.
I thought it was Tom Hilbert saying, I always feel like somebody's watching me, because that's exactly what Pearson was doing, watching him making his move. We've got this battle on track right now. This is going to be for the, looks like the 5th spot between, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Bobby Hayes, Chris Davis, and Jason Menda battle. Broadcast bunker today, so a little kind of get my bearings straight, but nonetheless, looks like the Highline's starting to work just a little bit better than last week, a little bit touching.
That was Hayes in the 13 really trying to pin Davis down. They touched, they have open wheels, but somehow they managed to keep it going. Look at the momentum on the top, kind of Hayes there. Davis on the inside, and the popcorn position, butter all over his racing gloves is Jason Menda. Oh my goodness! Menda on the back of Davis, tighter than a scuba suit on a fat man. They continue to race too wide. There's nowhere for Menda to put the car. The momentum to Hayes up top. There might be some good racing elsewhere, but nothing's better than this battle right now for 9th spot.
Yeah, they've been side by side for just a couple of laps between Hayes and Davis. Menda trying to push the 7 of Davis up ahead so he can at least move up a spot. Of course, I think Bobby Hayes would have to lose 2 spots, and he's well on his way as he had a wide entry going into turn 1, but he's still going to try and catch up with the 7 of Davis through turn 3, and looks like he's going to possibly accomplish that.
Laughing his way all the way to the championship is the 99 of James Lowe. He is buried back in 11th position. He just decided to ride it out back there until these two nincompoops figure out who's going to lead this thing. It continues to go on lap after lap. The 7 of Davis on the inside, the 13 of Hayes on the outside. Look what Bobby Hayes can do in that 13. He powers it around. All this going behind the caveman who races quietly in 7th position. Finally, I think Davis is going to get 8th position. No, he's not clear yet, and the momentum to the top side. Jag continues.
It's interesting to see this top line work just as good. Well, maybe that Bobby Hayes has that car set up to where it can run anywhere, really. Looking at the lap times of the two of them, 18.87 for Davis, Hayes with an 18.86. So, yeah, those lap times, they're right there. Oh, looks like that the 45 of Menda now in a battle with the 13 of Hayes as Davis finally says, you know what, I'm just done with this. So these two will go side by side here. Looks like passing just going to be at a premium this week.
Yeah, I think Rumpelstiltskin has come for the baby. There's finally the rubber gives out on the 13 of Bobby Hayes. He has to surrender not only the spot for 8th position, but also the one for 9th as Menda gets that one. So now Hayes settles down. And again, there's James Lowe, who is just sitting back there, keeping his tires cooler than the other side of the pillow. He gets underneath Bobby Hayes now, another spot lost. And they race back behind him. As we look at a battle there we go, see that? And we're looking at...
That's a battle for 3rd place right there. Super. Ooh, little touch there between Kurt Smith and Steve Hilbert. Hilbert on the outside, Smith on the inside. He's going to try and make a suggestion for him to go a little higher. But look who else is coming up. It's the 16 of Ed Springer.
Springer gets a good run in there, then he backs off. Look what Hilbert is doing. Springer has visions of 3 wide. Finally, Smith clears Hilbert. Springer's all over the place. And now gets tapped is the Chief. That's by Wilson gets him. Going around is Davis behind him. They get through. I think Davis and Hayes caught up in this one. Oh, the light blue car as well gets caught up in it. That is the 11 of Brendan Myers.
First caution of the race at lap number 17. We'll get a replay there as we see exactly how this all took place. And yeah, just too much bumping. And as I say, Soup, they looked like they were fixing to get bent, and they got bent pretty quick.
Dave was on a roll. We watched him in that battle earlier. He finally got clear of Bobby Hayes, and he was working his way through the field, and the battle was for 3 wide. It was good racing everywhere. All this going on behind Bruce Pearson and Tom Hilbert. With that said, let's go ahead and dial up our pole sitter, Tom Hilbert. He started in the inside position. He's now sitting in 2nd spot. Talk to Tom. Tom is Soup up here in the booth. You've been racing really good. Maybe you need this caution flag, cool off the tires a bit.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just trying to do my best just to keep up with Bruce.
Good luck.
I'd say real quick, Tom, it looks like that high line is actually working. We saw a couple of guys test it. One of those being Bobby Hayes. You think that you can hang tight with Double Deuce?
I'm going to try my best.
All right, that's Tom Hilbert in the 25.
In more Hilbert news, his brother Steve, who started in 3rd position way back in 10th right now. All 18 drivers still on the lead lap. We do have a lot of guys making pit stops, coming in, getting repairs, sneaking back out, coming in, seeing if they can get it done. Davis is one of them. Just rolling out of pit lane right now is the 11 of Myers. He was involved in that one. Trey Bloom, the caveman, in there as well. Another car sitting, getting repairs. Bobby Hayes.
You might as well say that was a Shamazel coming off of turn number 2. Expect the pace car lights to be out momentarily as looks like the 52 back into the pits. So Steve Hilbert not fully done with those repairs, and of course he might end up going 1 lap down because of these repairs. Chris Davis, shotgun on the field right now, gets out in front of the pace car as we are doubling up with working lap 21. Soup, we're gonna restart. We'll see how frisky everybody gets with Bruce Pearson alongside Tom Hilbert in row 1. It'll be Kurt Smith and Ed Springer in row 2. Row 3, John Wilson and Jason Menda. Great showing from him in number 45. They'll sit in row 3 with James Lowe and Jeffrey Harden in row 4. Pace car well in the pits, and it's Bruce Pearson's restart to call, and he calls it early between 3 and 4. Green flag is back underway, and he leaves the field in the dust as he lets Tom Hilbert decide how he wants to handle Kurt Smith.
Points leader James Lowe had a nice start on the inside line. Smith drifts up. Tom Hilbert gives him a lot of room on that one. The Canadian Goose, well, there's John Wilson sitting in 4th position. Despite the tariffs, having a nice run, rounding out your top 5 is Lowe. Lowe in a battle on the inside, working his way through the field. Now let's talk big picture. Lowe racing right now in 5th position. For all purposes, Liston's going to be in 6th once he gets underneath Springer here. So there's the 2 guys who sit top in your points racing right behind each other.
Oh, yeah, Springer brushes that wall, taps Liston, coming off of turn number 4. Of course, the straightaway here on the front stretch isn't so straight. It's kind of curved like, you see with the D oval, so don't get mad. Oh, that's a big problem between Liston and Springer. No caution yet as both those drivers get underway. I'm trying to see if there's any damage with either of them. So far, so good, but it looks like the 15 of Langer also with some issues.
Yeah, Springer was trying to squeeze Liston down. Liston drifted up, and they got kind of hooked together, and they both went into the outside wall. They keep going straight. Doesn't bring out the caution, which is probably the worst case scenario for both of those guys. They continue to race nose to tail right now, but it's for 10th and 11th.
We'll see if that caution does come for anybody, but right now, a little high. Off of turn 2 was Tom Hilbert in the 25. Now he has to deal with John Wilson and James Lowe there for position. Lowe, he's up 7 spots so far. Your highest runner right now from the starter, is the 45 of Jason Menda. Looking for this battle for the lead as well. It's Kurt Smith on the outside corner. Not going to make anything happen through 3 and 4, but still got a tight battle for 3rd. It's John Wilson trying to hold off Tom Hilbert as Wilson gets around Hilbert. And look who also is going to get into 4th place. That's James Lowe in the 99.
The Goose put his beak in there, got down on the inside line, made it work. He's got to be careful of the snapping turtles that can get you if you get it too far down. Wilson, a veteran, knows exactly where they are. Lowe's going to make quick work of Hilbert now. And remember, with Liston having those issues, again, we talked about points. Liston now racing in 10th. Looks like the car's going pretty well, but James Lowe, boy, you don't want to know how you win a championship. You start in 12th, you find yourself in 4th, you've got the car clean, and plenty of time to get to the front.
Jason Menda going side by side with James Lowe, with Tom Hilbert for the 5th spot, and Menda has it now fully dispatched, and he's got his eyes set on James Lowe in the 99. So far, single file for the first 6-7 spots as we're working lap number 31. Bruce Pearson, your leader, followed by Kurt Smith and John Wilson. 1, 2, 3, and gonna see some slower traffic up ahead in the form of Steve Hilbert and Tim Corder here in a couple laps.
You talked about Menda. He's a very fast driver, the Floridian fireman. The problem is, he doesn't have a lot of championships because his schedule, he just never get in a full schedule. But when he does show up, he's going to be good. We got ourselves a caution. It looks like no, I thought it was Liston. Oh, it's Springer. Is it Springer and Liston again? I swear that's a replay. I thought I was watching a replay. If this is what I'm looking at, nope. There we go. A little different. Okay.
I was going to say, it looks like that Springer had to get off the throttle just a little bit to avoid a slowing Hazlip. We can see what happens. See if we can look out the back and see if there's any contact. I don't think that there was. Just a little bit of contact there. So, yeah, like magnets, once again, Springer and Liston find one another.
Go around. So it's a tough time for Liston, who's trying to hang in the points race here. Liston is still out there. Let's go ahead and I'd like to find out some information not only about the race, but more importantly about how big his family is. Let's dial up Todd. Todd, it's Soup up here in the booth. The question everybody's asking is the family bigger?
Not yet.
Okay. It looks like, are they doubling up here? I don't want to keep you. I guess we got a little while. How's it feeling?
Not good. It's gotten beaten up.
Yep.
I had wheel damage from the first contact. We're gonna hang it out, see what we can do.
I was going to say that second contact which caused the yell, did that have anything to do with the stuff you encountered in the first contact?
I don't know if you guys caught that first one because it didn't bring out a caution, but that moment where Jeffrey got loose there, I got some wheel damage, I think, on my right side. It kind of seemed to make me faster, but I'm concerned it's going to wear down my tires faster.
Go get him.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Liston says the car is a little bit faster, but we'll see if he can run his way up through the pack. Right now, he sits in 10th place.
Myrtle Beach. You know, it's a vacation spot. The pace is nice and slow when you go to a vacation destination, and they run yellow flags that way as well. We're going to go around one more time. Let's look for a big mover here. 13th to 7, Ruben Altisville. He's notorious for doing that. We know that James Lowe is up 8 spots. We talked about Jason Mendes' success. Chris Hazlett started in dead last. He's a notch away from the top 10. All right, they're doubling up down the backstretch.
And the pace car is back onto pit road, the view that everybody likes to see. And Bruce Pearson gets back out up front. Green flag is out, and John Wilson tries to go for that second spot between he and Kurt Smith. Right now, diving deep into turn number 1 is a 75 of Wilson. They're going to go side by side, Wilson and Smith will.
Good opportunity for Menda to get up there and maybe gave James Lowe a little bit of pressure. Menda might be Lowe's biggest competition right now. They continue to battle up in front. We've seen this play out where eventually the top line has to surrender. Smith is working it for all it's worth.
But we're seeing the top line work a lot better than we have all season long. Who knew it would take till Myrtle Beach, a halfway point of the season, for this to happen. Still a battle for second rages on between Wilson and Smith. Wilson doing all he can to make sure that Smith falls back one position. Well, that's because he doesn't want Lowe or Menda knocking on his back door, which they already are through 3 and 4. But Pearson, he's trying to get away from this battle for the lead. Also, let's see if Lowe decides to make it 3 wide. He's looked the past couple of laps into turn 1.
Indeed. Now, of course, Smith and Wilson are here not only just to do well and try to win a championship, they're also here to have fun. And Lord knows they are having fun right now, but it comes at a cost. And that's the 4 things that they have on each corner of the car, those tires. While they're racing like this, they're just using up their tire equity right now. And then you have James Lowe back there. You can almost see the saliva dripping off the number 99 as he's licking his chops, waiting for both of these guys to run out of rubber.
You know, if this were the late model Soup, I would be sitting here saying, yeah, you know what, these guys are racing too hard. But I'm not too worried because it's the modifieds. They can basically beat them like they were the cheap steak over at the local diner and still be able to run the race as it is. As right now, Wilson has the edge, but now Smith has the edge. We've been seeing this off and on throughout since the last restart. The one person who I think smart in this game is James Lowe, because I think if you try and force it 3 wide, that's when you're going to see a big mess on your hands.
I think that finally Smith, they gave up. Now the 6 is going to try to get down, and it doesn't work out for Lowe. He wasn't able to steal that spot. And what I did notice was Pearson was just like, basically, you're running the London Tube, he's just minding the gap. Here comes Lowe now getting underneath Smith. I don't think Smith is going to have a lot for him. Wilson will probably have the pace now that he can race a better racing line and pull away from both these guys. Lowe will get this done. Watch out for Menda. He's easily going to tuck in underneath Smith. And watch, Ruben Ortiz is back there as well. He's always quick late in the race.
And you know that the second that James Lowe gets an opportunity, he's going to go up and battle those top two. But right now, he's kind of stuck in the middle with this battle for third place, and now he gets it. Here comes Menda as well. So now, watch out. Lowe has plenty of time, plenty of real estate to try and make something happen here. I would be worried if I was Pearson or Wilson, because now you got one of the fastest drivers in the field so far this season, all finally out of a good battle.
So here's the deal on the tires. It's not so much about what they use up as how hot they get. So it's possible that Wilson can get out there now with some clear air in front of him, just get a nice racing line, let the tires cool off. I'll say this much, Pearson is not driving away. Even when Wilson was too wide with Smith, Pearson wasn't going anywhere. It could be a case of the double juice kind of just taking it easy, but certainly here comes Wilson. Remember, the grid is set not by qualifying, but how they raced in the previous event. Pearson gridded on the outside of row 1, meaning he finished 14th around that last time out. So there's no clue about how fast he really is unless we look at practice times.
And while we're looking at the grid for the next race, Steve Hilbert, your provisional pole sitter, actually make that Chris Davis now in 7th. Your provisional pole sitter is James Lowe, all over the back bumper of John Wilson, as if he's a dog that found out that there's peanut butter on the rear bumper through there, as Lowe doing all he can to try and make a move on Wilson. He's waiting for that door to open, but that's giving Wilson a chance to reel in the double deuce. We've seen that battle for the lead early on, and really for the most of the race, Pearson's held on, but that's the opening that James Lowe needed. He goes to the inside of Wilson, takes second spot, says thank you very much. Hello, Bruce.
Practice times mean anything, and honestly, I think they do. Pearson was, out of 18 drivers, put in the 15th fastest qualifying time, so I'm not sure how much pace he has. One thing I do know is the 22 knows how to race the car. Much better racer than he is qualifier. Now watch out for Menda. He's going to get on the back of Wilson here and make that spot up. There's a driver I think deserves some love. Let's drop back and look at the light blue number 11. He was in some trouble early. We're talking about Brendan Myers. This guy can drive the car, and it looks like the 11 is still fast.
He's so fast that he is blinking every once in a while. I've noticed he's kind of off and on, but he's still all over the back of the 70 of Ruben Ortiz. Again, this is for position, and it's for the 6th position. Tell me a problem.
Oh, the leader is gone. See you later, Bruce Pearson. It brings out the yellow, I hope.
Yep.
Oh, you're never safe.
We have the yellow in the field kind of slowing down. Let's see what happened here. See if it was on his own volition, and nope, I don't think it was. I think, yep, that was James Lowe using the front bumper like it was a snowplow, something that's unfamiliar to several people in South Carolina.
Well, I'm sure a director's going to give us his magic, notorious shot that he's notorious for. Here it comes, the overhead shot. Watch the racing lines that are painted on the track. Does Pearson come down? Oh, well, he certainly didn't leave Lowe a lot of room. Don't know if he necessarily came down. I don't think he see that.
I don't think he came down as much as Pearson came up to kind of take his normal line. Didn't realize that Lowe was right there on that back bumper.
Well, let's see if we can get an opinion from John Wilson. He had the best view of it. Let's dial up to 75. All right, John, we're up here in the booth talking about that last one. You had a real good view of it. What was your take? Come on, be honest. Let it out.
I'm not really sure. I was kind of concentrating on not hitting both of them.
I was gonna say that was a soup special, so don't come and get me. Not bad right now. You're sitting in second place. You've got 2 fast cars around you. What is your strategy now that you're going to be on the outside?
Just try to hold on.
That's half the battle.
Yes, sir. I was pushing a little hard there, trying to battle with Kurt, and probably shouldn't. Think I got my tires a little hot, so we'll see what it'll do.
Well, you got a yellow flag to cool him down. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
You know, he's saying exactly what we were saying on the broadcast, that
Yeah.
the fun that he's having is it's the price you pay for it.
Well, lights are out on the pace car soup. We've got 56 laps working right now, 55 in the books. What do you expect for this green flag run?
Boy, I would like to see Wilson give it a good run. Not sure if he can. I think the driver that has a shot at this is the guy sitting on the inside of row 2. Watch out, the Floridian fireman. The fireman without a pole. We like to call him Jason Menda. 45 is always quick.
Lowe and Wilson make up row 1. It's Lowe's restart to go as the pace car's off, as you see, in the pits. I'll see how late Lowe does this one. Green flag gets back up. It's a good jump on the field. And look at Menda already into second place, as looks like that Wilson going to be hung out to dry, but he's got some friends up high. He won't be too hung out to dry.
You know, Menda's a fireman. He keeps his boots and his suspenders right there by the bed. You never catch a fireman sleeping. They're quick when they hear the bell, and he got a good start. Not the case, though, for the number 75 of John Wilson. He's struggling. Smith underneath him. Won the 11. I can't tell you. Watch out for this guy, Brendan Myers. He's sneaky fast.
Menda's making his round to Overtown, putting out old flames. Well, let's see if he puts out James Lowe here shortly. This battle for third really heating up between Wilson and Smith. Wilson running the high line. As we mentioned, this is one of the weeks where that high line, actually, you still can make a move. You still can defend your line a little bit better, but it's going to be a little tough for Wilson. As he said, his tires are a little hot. We'll see how much they cooled off during this past caution. But Brendan Myers chomping at the bit as well. He and Menda have been up the most spots since the start at +12.
You know, we talked to Wilson. He was saying that he was using up his tires racing hard with Smith, and, well, he's in that same position again.
He really is. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there from the 75 as he goes just a little high and out of the groove. But still battling with Kurt Smith. Again, this is the battle for third place. Your interested spectator is the 11 of Brendan Myers. As Myers now, I guess you can kind of say it's 3 wide, even though it isn't, because you got 2 on the bottom, 1 on top, and we're about ready to go 3 wide as we saw the 6 of Smith just slide up just a little bit through 3 and 4.
Now, we don't like anyone to ever go 3 wide, but you got to get into the head of Myers and even Ruben Altice, who's back behind him. These guys are notorious about being fast at the end, but they can't race with the leaders if they're pinned behind Smith and Wilson, who continue to just do a little waltz around the track. They will not get this sorted out.
I think once the bottle gets opened, I think that's when the floodgates will arrive, as everybody from third on back, nice and tight. Although Lowe and Menda, those two really aren't strayed too far apart from each other. They're still close with one another, as we see that Altice now gets up into that 5th spot with a blinking Myers. But so you got a battle for third, battle for 5th, right behind one another. And of course, the 87 listed might have to deal with Jeffrey Harden here in the next couple of laps as well. Everybody's going to have somebody to race with here if this battle for third continues on.
Yeah, we talked about the dam breaking there. That is Wilson and Smith's battle, and the floodwaters will start to surge. Well, meanwhile, heading for high ground is Lowe and Menda. They are out in front, just putting in laps right now. They're not racing. They're just putting in distance, gapping themselves to the 2 guys that continue to race. Wilson almost gets a part of the wall back there for third.
Oh, because once the levee breaks, it's just going to be mass mayhem behind them. It might be mass mayhem if this continues on. All right, Kurt Smith finally gets into that 3rd spot. For now, let's see how long that lasts. Look who's against the wall, too. Todd Liston down low, riding that wall, see if he can get just a little bit of a faster time. He's holding off Harden in the 36. And now the battle for third place heats up once again between Smith and Wilson. This time, Wilson gets down low. That's exactly where he wants to be. And Smith, he's been good on the top side as well, so we're going nowhere fast again.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? Brendan Myers should think about becoming a doctor, because he has lots of patience. He's just sitting back there waiting for the guys. Now the opportunity, they are single file. Let's watch the 11. He is ready to go, and he says a little bit of hello to Wilson, gives him a bump, looking to get some way around. Altice has dropped back a little bit.
So that, as we said, that's given the leaders a chance to open up to almost a 1 second gap between 2nd and 3rd spot, as this battle for the 7th spot between Liston and Harden continues on. As Liston little higher than he needs to be, but still able to hold off Harden. Chris Davis now, he was at the back of the pack, if you remember, from that earlier incident. He's made his way all the way up to 9th spot.
Okay, getting a lot of texts from Art fans back here. Let's quickly take a look at the 36. He really hasn't had much to say. We're talking about Jeffrey Harden, but you got to get at least his colors on the screen one time out there in a fluorescent, citrus flavored number 36. He's right behind Liston. Liston making a nice recovery. Oh, here comes, Myers now making a move. He's finally got underneath Wilson.
Yeah, that's the move that Myers really wanted. He wanted that door to get open so he could shove his foot in there just a little bit. and not going to make it happen just yet, so he's going to sit back and wait, as patient as he's been. But look at who's going high. It's Jeffrey Harden as well. So this battle for third on back to, about 8th or 9th, back to single file for the time being.
Oh, Smith gets really loose in front of Wilson, comes down in front. He's going to lose all sorts of momentum. Wilson had to check up. That allows the 11 to get underneath. Now that the 11's in the preferred spot, I expect him to make quick work of this. Smith says, not on my watch. He comes down, and he's going to check up the 11. He's going to lose all of his momentum. Wilson gets out on the wall. They are all slow. That allows Ruben Ortiz to get in there. Ruben says, hello, I'd like to play this too. He starts to drift up into Wilson. Watching back there is Harden. They are scrabbling all over the place. Nobody's taken the quickest way around. That's allowed Harden and Liston to get back into the mix. Meanwhile, somehow Kurt Smith comes out ahead of all of them, with Myers sitting now in fourth.
Little touch by Harden from the two Liston, I should say. Yeah, they're fixing to get bent here with 26 laps to go, Soup, as Liston trying to see if he can get around the 70 of Altice, and he's going to go deep as a little bit of bumping there through 3 and 4 as Altice falls back just a little bit.
They are definitely cruising for a bruise. And you want another name? Let's bring in Mr. Aggressive, the number 7, Chris Davis. He's in there too. Oh my goodness, he is pinned in. There's nowhere for him to go. He gets into the back of Altice. All that makes him drift up. He keeps it off the wall, brings it down right in front of Springer. My goodness, what racing as they continue to go. Now it's too wide. Here comes Altice underneath Liston. Remember, Liston's car is damaged. Somehow he's got the 87 competitive. Meanwhile, they've sorted out the front 4. The front 5 are all single file. All this going on behind Lowe and Menda, who are just waiting for when it's time to boogie.
Yeah, about 0.2 of a second separate those two drivers in the lead, but lots of great battles. Again, we're watching this battle for third all the way back to 9th place as the 87 Liston moves up into 6th. He wants that top 5 spot with that damaged car. He might be able to do it. He said in the interview with us that, yeah, I feel like that this car is just a little bit faster. Maybe that's a secret that he needs. He just needs to start either hitting objects or hitting cars.
That's the secret to fixed setup racing. If you don't like the setup they give you, just put the car on the wall a few times. That'll make it race differently.
that's a good strategy.
You know, you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that from J.R. Shepard. You're only going to hear that kind of racing analysis from a guy who's not very fast. Look at what's going on back up here. They come around working lap number 8. You know what's going to happen as they go across the line this time. Get ready for it. And it's going to be any minute now. I'm telling you, if you're thinking about winning, get the mirror ball and spin and grip the groove, make your move. That's right. Put on your dancing shoes. Show them what you can do. Certainly show them what you can do right now is Brendan Myers. He knows it's time to boogie. Bop, bop, ba-da, bop. Bop, bop, ba-da, bop. Where does that song end?
There. It ends right there where Aerosmith breaks the that little whatever that is right now. Oh, 19 laps to go, and the Hornets' nest is starting to buzz just a little bit. Brendan Myers right now at the fastest lap of the race, 18.7, sits in 3rd place, but behind him, he's got the likes of Kurt Smith, John Wilson, Todd Liston, Jeffrey Harden, and Ruben Altice, who we have our eye on. Here's the battle for 4th place right now, where Wilson trying to go high on Kurt Smith trying to go high on Wilson, but Wilson has that 4th spot. Third spot, 4th spot. I need to drink some more anyway. 4th spot, and there's a little bit of contact.
Boy, the goose was heading to the nest, but he got it straightened out. He got bumped by Smith. They keep it going straight. That's the best news for Lowe and Mender right now. The last thing they want is a yellow flag, but boys, I'm not sure you're going to get your wish because they are racing really hard behind you. And up front, James Lowe now is beginning to open it up a little bit. Let's go up for a move quick. Look at this. You can see it's about 4 car lengths, getting a little bit wider. Maybe Menda's saving, but he's heard the music. If he had anything left, he'd be using it right now. Remember, Menda had to work his way through the field from 14th. Lowe came from 12th, so they both had to work hard.
I'm worried that
got a spin. It looks like it is Harden.
It's Harden and Smith, and apparently Harden didn't like his setup, so he's going to try and fix it again. Oh, look at who else is involved. It's the 36 of Harden, Smith, and Liston all involved. Let's take a look at this replay, Sue.
Indeed, Harden spun from the back. He saw it happening. Liston got into it with Smith. Wilson involved in that one. They got a hard hit for Liston. My goodness. The car's going to be miraculously fast now. If it was faster after those last crashes. And I think it'd be a little lighter because I think it only has 3 tires on it.
Well, you know, one of 3 tires. I just wish you luck on it. And the person that didn't want to see that yellow is James Lowe. So now that almost half-second lead is going to evaporate to, hey, neighbor, how you doing?
Oh, decisions. Should we talk to Lowe? No, we'll talk to him enough this season. Menda would be interesting. Let's dial up Menda and see if he has anything for him. It's always nice to see Jason when he races with us here. We'll dial up the number 45, Jason Menda. Always great to see you racing with us. I've seen the outside line work. Have you tried it? It can be rough.
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm about to. So.
Okay, I want you to jump the start. Okay, put the pressure on the stewards. Just when you think it's time to go. Make them take it away from you. Okay, buddy?
Sounds good.
I was going to say, Jason, why don't you just blare your sirens on the restart and spook Lowe?
You know, I wish I had that option.
Hey, good luck. Good.
Real quick, I got a fireman question for you. When you're at the house, do you sleep there? And if you do, do you keep your boots right on the foot of the bed?
Yes, the both of them.
All right, go get him, man.
All right, thanks.
He's going to be good on this restart. I'm telling you, firemen, they have quick reactions. Watch him go.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here on this restart. As we said, this track especially, the high line is working. I would not be surprised to see Menda and Lowe just go side by side as if they're doing a high-speed pace lap here with 11 laps to go, and the lights are out on the pace car, Soup.
How important is grid position in a Bootleg Racing League event? Listen to the grid positions of your top 3 guys. 12th, 14th, and 17th. And let's drill down on 17th. That belongs to Brendan Myers. Started on the inside of the last row. Right now he's on the inside of row 2 with a shot to steal this one. Go get him, number 11.
All right, Menda and Lowe on the front row. Pace car is in the pits. Let's see how early Lowe goes as Menda has the nose so far.
Now,
He's
Jason.
waiting. He's waiting.
Now, Jason. Oh, Jason.
Oh, man. I've never seen Lowe wait that long for a restart as we're at 10 laps to go. Brendan Myers going to the inside, and he's blinking once again. Not the time to blink, as he might even have a shot at our leader, James Lowe. Myers and Menda going side by side. Now Menda trying to get up to that lead from the outside.
I'll tell you, Brendan Myers has the talent to be a big star, but right now, he's a little star. Twinkle, twinkle, he does. But he seems like he's got it locked in. Now he's on the inside. He gets the best of it. Menda forced to the outside. That's the best news that James Lowe could have heard right now, is for those 2 guys to battle. Look what Brendan Myers can do. He gets a great drive off of 4. Got the car down to the inside, knew exactly where to put it. He's going to leave Menda behind now, and now he can set his sights, and a caution comes out, which means Myers is going to get a shot at the restart at Lowe. Woo, Dougie.
I saw that incident, that yellow coming from a couple corners away. Wilson was just nothing but loose off of 3 and 4, and yeah, we're seeing the end result of that as multiple cars. Now, I want to go back to turn 3 of that incident because that's where everything all started with the 75 of Wilson, who ended up on his lid on the front straightaway. That's where the issue all arose, and yeah, so here's through 1 and 2. He has a 70 of Altice to his inside. That's fine and dandy. But now, it's like that started turn 2 where he was just a little bit loose. Oh, a little bit of a tap from the 75 there. That is what that's what started it. And yep, the tap and around and upside down.
Who's had the stuffing knocked out of him? A hard hit. Well, that one's going to be hard to come back from. He's still in the pits. In fact, we're going to have a green-white checker. He's going to be well down the order. Bad news is he was racing up front. He's well down the order now. The good news, well, Goose, you're sitting in 15th spot. You're racing with Bruce Pearson. Both of you guys are in pit lane. You know, the first guy off of pit lane, if he can get the car going, will get a shot at the pole next week.
Right now, Chris Hazlip, your provisional pole sitter, as Todd Liston is going through pit road as we speak. Oh, man, you know what? I've got to say this. His right's going left, his left is going right, but he's trying to go straight.
Imagine how fast that car is going to be when he brings it out.
Aerodynamics, ladies and gentlemen.
Rocket ship. Another battle. Can we look at these 2 cars? A battle between the number 22 of Bruce Pearson. Let's put the camera on him. Trust me, director, we want to do this. He sits in 15th.
Trust.
Well, he's in pit lane. And also John Wilson, who sits in 15th. So Wilson and Pearson, both 1 lap down, now 2 laps down, sitting in pole position. Wilson is rolling. He's got to get that pole spot.
Yeah, Chris Hazlip is in 13th, and he's the one who's not.
Oh, you know what? Soup is in old rules. Oh, my goodness. You know, I turned 65 in a few days, and I thought it was the top 15. It is indeed the top 13. So everything I just told you, folks, in the words of Emily Latilla, never mind.
Base car lights are out. We're doubled up. James Lowe, Brendan Myers, row 1. They'll come down with 3 laps to go. Let's see who gets out in front. And does Menda have anything for Myers and or Lowe? Field working their way around turn number 4. And I'll tell you what, Menda was all over that back bumper. That up Lowe out a little bit. Green flag is back out. 3 laps to go. As we're seeing some battles there from second on back. Menda now has a position he wants. Now he gets to try and get away from Myers. And also, he's got to see if Lowe gives him any room as we're back to yellow.
Another caution. They were coming on all sides. Wait a minute. I have to check my rule book. We only get 1 green-white checker in this event. I hope if I know what I'm talking about, that's going to do it. I think James Lowe can just look around. Nope, I'm hearing no.
No, because they came back with 3 laps to go.
It wasn't a green-white checker. Oh, my goodness. That's why they pay you the big money. Nice job.
I'll get the bonus later. Anyway, Lowe and Menda will be on the front row once again, and Myers sitting in 3rd. Oh boy, we are setting ourselves up for another barn burner finish here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. See if we get quickie caution. We do not.
Okay, well, let's dial up Brendan Myers now and see what he can tell us. I'm going to give him some advice up here in the booth. Brendan, you want me to spot for you and tell you when to just step on it?
Yeah, that might help.
Hey, I give the same advice I gave to Menda. Make the stewards take it away from you, buddy. Get on the back of Lowe, send him up high into 1, and let's make this thing interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm happy I'm on the inside this time. I can maybe get around Jason quickly here and have a shot at James.
I was going to say that high line, though, has been working a lot for a lot of drivers.
Yeah, it seems like you're able to hold in there but not really make any passes. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm happy I'm on the inside.
All right, good luck out there.
Thank you.
Brendan Myers, your highest driver right now, 14 positions from the grid.
This could be fascinating. Imagine if Menda slips into his suspenders and boots quickly and forces Lowe 2 wide through 1. That'll give Myers a chance to have a run. Coming into 3 and 4 on that first lap, we could go 3 wide. This is all right now. What Myers needs is for Menda to get a great start on the outside. But so far, I think we might be pie in the sky thinking here, as we have not seen the outside line go. Guys, make a guess at it. I'm telling you, just go.
Well, it's time to blindfold yourself and throw a dart at the dartboard. Anybody's race here, as the pace car has the lights out with Lowe and Menda on the front row. One chance to rack it up and finish this race under green-white checkers. Pace car is in the pits. It's Lowe's race to restart as Menda tries and shoves him down low. Green flag is out as Lowe gets a fantastic jump on the field. Battle for second heats up between Menda and Myers. Myers on the inside. He's going to do all he can. It's either checkers or wreckers for the 11. Here comes the 45 of Menda. He's going to try and hang tight for second place.
Ruben Altice and Chris Davis back there. We haven't heard much from them. They come across the line. James Lowe with 3 corners to go now to pick up his 3rd win of the season.
As James Lowe, he's all by himself, and Brendan Myers makes his way to second place. But Menda tries to look to high side, low side, any side. He may lose even 3rd place. Here comes the finish. Checker flag is out. James Lowe, your winner. Brendan Myers second. Ruben Altice 3rd, because Menda looks like he spun off of turn number 4.
Well, you can't say that Jason Menda didn't race it for all it was worth, and in the end it cost him several positions. He's going to finish up in 10th. In 13th goes Kurt Smith. Look at him to be on the pole. You know, we talk about the big picture. Todd Liston finishes in 14th, while the man he's trying to run down wins the thing. That's not the way to build excitement, to add drama to the championship race. With that said, the racing is over. Our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and talk to some of the drivers before we put a shoelace on the gate because it's doubleheader Saturday. We got another broadcast in just a little while. Don't go far. The boss won't give you the time off. Your pocketbook is too small. You just can't take a vacation. Look at Myrtle Beach. Take a virtual vacation right now, as our director shows you, the beautiful South Carolina town that is Myrtle Beach, where we come to you right now here on the Virtual Grip Network, as we bring you 6-round coverage of the SK Modified Invitational Series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. He started in 12th position. He worked his way through the field. When he got to the front, it was impossible to get around on the restarts. He picks up what I believe is his third win of the season, if I know my scoring right. We're talking about James Lowe, your points leader. Brendan Myers, wow, he started on the last row, worked his way all the way through the field, but just didn't have enough for Lowe there at the end. He'll have to settle for second. The quiet man, Ruben Ortiz, goes from the Baker Studley spot to third. Rounding out your top 5, great run from Ed Springer, started in 4th. That's where he's coming home with Chris Davis from 11th to 5th. Back half of your top 10, Tim Corder. Tim, we apologize. You had a great run. We gave you almost no screen time. Well done. Tom Hilbert started up front, faded back, but then came back into 7th. Jeffrey Harden, Trey Bloom, and Jason Menda, with that last lap effort, lost all those positions. He'll have to settle for 10th.
As we take a look at the rest of the field, it's Chris Hazlip in 11th. 12th goes to Steve Hilbert. Your pole sitter for next week going to be the 6th of Kurt Smith. That's going to be a lot of fun. Todd Liston sits in 14th. 15th is 75 of John Wilson. Double Deuce Bruce had some good leading early on in the race. Well, he sits 16th. 17th is Bobby Hayes, and Daryl Weiner also out of the race in 18th.
You want a recipe for wire-to-wire? Put Kurt Smith on the pole and let him go. Tune back in next week to see if you can do it. With that said, we're going to dial up our race winner. It is indeed his 3rd win of the season. He has not finished outside the top 5 so far. Came into the race with a 10-point advantage over Liston. Liston had a horrible result. Look for that gap to be much bigger. And, of course, we're talking about James Lowe, who's hunting his first broadcasted championship in both this series and the one we're going to come up later. My goodness, is the lead commentator going to ask a question? I believe I am. James, well done. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I wish could have got without the contact there, but I mean, there's only so much you can do when they're trying to block you down to the apron. Or at least that's how it appeared in the car. I'm not sure. I haven't went back to look at it, but other than that, yeah, just a pretty good race. Trying to hold off Jason Menda there. He was all over me, and eventually was able to pull it out.
Restart after restart after restart after restart. You had the prize possession, and you just got the jump every time. Help me out on those restarts if you care to share a little strategy. What do you do? Do you start a different place every time?
Yeah, you try to start somewhere every time, and you kind of listen to the guy on the outside. When they get a little antsy, you let them finish getting the little antsy bit out of them, and then you go. And it kind of throws everything off for them. But, yeah, it's lots of restarts, and you never know. I mean, it could be like me last week and get lucky on one. So just see how it goes.
From what I understand, because of the grip, there's no chance of lighting the tires up. Is that correct, even if they're used up?
Yeah, I mean, you just punch the throttle and go. Yeah, they don't have enough power to break them free.
Well, it was an impressive run. 3rd win of the season. You haven't missed a top 5 so far. I'm not even going to ask you if you're going to show up because I know it's always questionable. But what you're doing, build yourself up a big enough gap. Maybe you can build yourself up a little bit of a vacation there. Take a Saturday off and not lose point leads. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right, James Lowe. He's hunting a championship here in the early part of the doubleheader and the late one as well. Don't go far. He's going to tune in for that one a little later on tonight. Who you got?
Well, let's talk to our 2nd place finisher, Brendan Myers. We talked to you earlier on, thought you had something, but nonetheless, up 15 spots from the start of the race and a track where passing was at a premium, Brennan. That's tough to do.
Yeah, it was a super fun race. Had a great time. I got involved in that first incident and got some damage. I thought I was completely through the accident and got clipped in the right rear. And I think I got most of the damage fixed, but I was pretty worried it was going to affect the tires or the driving of the car, but was still able to make some passes.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, that really helps having that early on because now you can work your way up to the front just a little bit faster, but half a second between you and James Lowe. We knew there was no stopping him, but did you think that maybe there was a chance that on that one of those restarts, at least you could at least try and slow him down just a little bit?
Yeah, I wish I would have had a few more laps, or if we would have stayed green. I think that was the 3rd to last restart there. If we would have stayed green through the rest of the race, I thought I had a shot at him. I felt like I was faster in 1 and 2. He might have been faster in 3 and 4, but I would have had a shot.
Well, nonetheless, a great race, great recovery here. Finishing off 2nd place, Brendan Myers. Great job.
Yeah, thank you. Big shout out to my sponsor, Ambrose. Thanks to my wife, Lauren, everyone at BRL, and you guys up in the booth at VGN. And happy birthday to Rick. It was his birthday on Wednesday.
Car looks great, man. That's a good-looking car.
Appreciate it.
All right, there you have it. Brendan Myers, I got it. Let's bring in Ruben Ortiz, the quiet man. Ruben, it's Soup up here in the booth. My take was you had a car that could race, but you spent most of the race behind guys that were too wide in front of you.
Yeah, it was really tough to pass tonight. And then if you hung to the bottom to try to get under somebody, your car would start pushing towards the wall, and you had to let out going on down in the front stretch, and that would kill you on that part of the track.
You started back in 13th. You made your way up. We talk about the starting grid for all the guys who were ahead of you, 12th, 17th, and 13th. So I don't know if you got through them on the track or if you just avoided attrition. Was the car in good shape at the end?
Yeah, the car was fine. I got in a couple of bump ups there, but nothing major. It was just I'm wrecking in front of me and people getting crossed up, and you get behind that way. It was almost impossible to pass.
Well, look, we went so long without you getting the victories. Then you got on that win streak. Now you're on a cold streak again. What about tonight in the late models? How you feeling? You got a shot to do something for us?
I hope so. I love this track. I've had zero practice this week. I ain't took no time out to practice, but I love this track, so we'll see.
All right. Sometimes, practice that's a crutch for the untalented. You don't need practice. Go out there, show them what you got. We'll see you in the next race. Good luck.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank Lowell and thank y'all for broadcasting. Y'all do a great job.
There it is. The quiet man, Ruben Altice, goes from 13th to 3rd. With that, we're gonna put a period on this broadcast here. Let's go ahead and show you when we'll be back. This thing next week, we're going to the Bull Ring in Las Vegas. Oh, that'll be fun. Round number 7 as we start on the back half of the season. Before then, though, we got the one coming up in Myrtle Beach in just a little while. You'll have time to go to the refrigerator. Make yourself, I'm suggesting some type of cold snack. Maybe you got a little tuna fish salad in there. Put it on a piece of lettuce. That might be good and healthy for you. With that said, all the people that we're going to show you on the screen right now are all part of the Virtual Grip Network, and that's the people who make these productions possible. Until a few minutes from now, have fun storming the castle.